Welcome back. My name is Erbad, a free-to-play endgame player in Raid Shadow Legends, and today we're going to take a look at Hard Doom Tower Secret Room 12 with the Dark Fae rotation, 6-star void attack only. I'm going to talk through 3 different approaches you could take depending on the champions at your disposal. Firstly, you could approach the room similarly to the way we tackled the rare attack only Secret Room from Eternal Dragon rotation, where we used multiple champions with AoE attacks in stun gear paired with 100% single target crowd control champions. Here we could once again use Coldheart for the single target crowd control whilst using other champions with AoE attacks in the stun gear. For instance, Skullcrown is an obvious choice for the AoE hitter, whilst Dagger can also provide an AoE hit with decreased defense. The second approach we could take makes use of multiple champions that have soft crowd control. For instance, Shamael, who people will be investing in for Hydra, can cast AoE True Fear upon killing an enemy with his A2, which will also ignore defense for each buff that he has on him, whilst Leorius also can cast AoE True Fear on his A3. These champions can be paired with others in stun sets, and with good RNG, it will get you through the fight. Lastly, and the approach I'm going to show in this video, Yakal is great for this room. Whilst his AI remains wonky, you will have to manual the fight, but between his turn meter steal and 100% freeze, you can control the enemy and make the secret room relatively trivial. It turns out, whilst he is rather useless everywhere else in the game, he is actually fantastic for this secret room. So let's get into it. Right, as we zone in, the thing to be aware of are the 2 Beardels with counter-attack cast upon them. These 2 champions are our main obstacle in Wave 1, and ultimately, in fact, the main obstacle for the entire secret room. In general, if we can clear the first wave and clear these 2 Beardels, we will find the rest of the secret room relatively easy. Since I have Yakal here, the approach I'm going to take is on each Coldheart. I'm going to drop the Beardel's turn meter. 1 from each Coldheart. Take the counter attack, and my Coldhearts should survive. From here, I will now steal turn meter from the champion with the highest turn meter. On my Skullcrown, I'll hopefully get some stuns out. Equally, she would also survive any potential attack from Beardel via her unkillable passive. With Leorius, I can either go for a single target hit on Kurgo, or I could try the soft crowd control we mentioned with the True Fears. Now we have a decent amount of crowd control on the champions. We could risk the crowd control with the True Fears and hope 50% of the time that we'll get lucky. We also have 2 stuns out. But with Yakal, I will now spread that freeze to everyone else. We now have the position where we want to get these Beardels killed as quickly as possible before their freeze wears off. Whilst they're frozen, they cannot counterattack us. We'll get some damage out. With Yakal, since he has an A1 that can freeze, I will use that. I think we did not quite kill them, but with A1s we should manage. We got a lucky stun, and we're through to the second wave. Look to get some weakens out from Skullcrown, hopefully some stuns. Again, we'll look with Yakal. We'll try and find the champion with the highest turn meter. Appears to be neck and neck. We'll drop turn meter with A1 from our Coldhearts. And then we'll spread the freeze again with Yakal. That's safely done. We can now make our way to kill the rest of the enemies, looking to get A1 freezes with the Akal on any champion that escapes crowd control. We don't need to be using our Heartseeker just yet, so there is no danger. Get some damage out from Leorius. If that stun had not landed, I would have used Heartseeker. Since it did, we don't need to worry. And we're through to the third wave. Again, we will rinse and repeat. We will look for the champion with the highest turn meter. In this instance, it is yet again Bellinor. We will freeze him and steal. We will use A1s to reduce turn meter on the rest of the champions. We can look to get our True Fears out. We can spread the freeze. And once again, the entire wave is fully controlled. We can use Yakal's A1 as we require. We will Heartseeker Bellinor to ensure he does not take a turn. And the room is done. So obviously in this particular team composition I have multiple layers of control. I have all the different mechanics we discussed. I have Skullcrown in the stun set. I have a Coldheart in a stun set. I have Yakal, who can carry the room by himself. I also do have Leorius putting out those AoE True Fears. So if I didn't have any one of these champions, I could bring in a different mechanic of the three categories we discussed. And I'd say all of these champions are interchangeable, and you can find a strategy with the champions at your disposal that will get you through. As I mentioned, Yakal will actually make this room a breeze. So if you do have him and you are looking to complete all the secret rooms, he is worth building. If we have a look through the builds, I will start with the Coldhearts. I have one Coldheart in Reflex, over 200 speed, the correct crit for a Coldheart, decent damage overall with some attack, and I actually have enough accuracy as I use this Coldheart in Dark Fae. Second Coldheart, very similar build, this time with a stun set. Again, I have high accuracy as I use this Coldheart, also in Dark Fae. The right crit for a Coldheart, good damage overall, and again over 200 speed. This is the same Coldheart I used in the rare secret room, the rare attack secret room that I mentioned previously. Skullcrown also in a stun set, good attack, over 200 speed, enough damage. I know the Cardinal Sin, only 99% crit rate, please forgive me, and enough accuracy to land her Weaken, which does help us kill the enemy faster. Yakal, the star of the show, in a Savage set. Not any stats that are particularly special, like a solid build, but not an exceptional build, particularly given this is relatively endgame content. 4.5k attack, over 200 speed, enough accuracy to be landing the debuffs in this secret room, but not enough accuracy to be landing it elsewhere in Doom Tower. I only use Yakal for this secret room. He is not used anywhere else in the game for me, not even in Faction Wars. And then lastly, Leorius is now my arena nuker. I only built him about 10 days ago, so it's a relatively new build for me. Here he is with 6k attack, 200 speed, 257 crit damage, but is entirely not required to beat this room. You don't need any nuker with these stats to beat the room. The first time I beat this room, I didn't have Leorius. I was using Faceless in that position. The important thing is to be able to cycle back to have your Yakal's abilities open for each successive wave if using a Carl, or if you're using someone like Leorius or Shamil for True Fears, you need to be able to cycle back. As I mentioned before, Dagger with the AoE defense break will help in terms of dealing damage by lowering the enemy's defense and help you get through the room more quickly without the need for a strong Savage Nuker. So there we have it. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you will be able to beat this secret room having watched this video, and I hope what you really take away from this video is that there are many compositions and strategies that will work for this secret room. I have showcased one example, and I've tried to borrow enough of those ideas as possible to demonstrate how I would put them together. But with my limited resources and roster, I cannot show every permutation. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and any feedback you have for me would be well received. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Take care.